Hey there! Why am I live? I am live because the universe does crazy things, and here we go. Life moves pretty fast, and sometimes you have to stop and look around and take advantage of it. So I said, well, I'm going to. We've had scheduling things, my day job stuff's going on. I mean, here we go. Let's do it. So I've been wanting to try to figure out a way to navigate doing like the tabletop show and tell, trading cards, and even comic books. And I said, well, I'm going to try to play around with the setup. The problem that I'm having is look how bad it looks if I remove the one thing. Like it just becomes this massive blank space, and I can't get it to zoom and not. I guess I can get it to go to there, but look at how high I have to have it up. So I had a hard time getting that to navigate. So I added, this is, for those of you who don't know, that's my eBay store right over there. There's a link in the description. I don't go out promoting my eBay store on Pops. It's just something I do in large part because it's impossible to keep up with the ridiculous financially changing market. And I feel bad because things can appear to be ridiculously overpriced on my store. But I will take your offers because there's only some things I don't think are overpriced. The market is all over the map, and shipping costs are all over the map. When it costs $4 to ship a bubble envelope, or it costs $20 to ship overseas, it's very hard to move smaller priced items. But anyway, I thought I would share something as small. Plus, I thought we will look up some prices and things like that over here as we go along. But I'm using this as a way to go through my box. I've sold several of these cards. This is a 1993 Marvel Masterpiece set of cards. This is what they look like. You can see the foil label at the top, right? Character or the title of the card is at the bottom. On the back, you'll see a character excerpt from a comic book, usually something that inspired what is on the front, some general information. At the bottom is your artist, those kinds of things. So this is exactly what the cards kind of look like. Sold a lot of X-Men cards, a couple Spider-Man cards, which I said in an earlier stream that Venom and Carnage and Spider-Man 2099 are three that are still very hot. Obviously, X-Men is as well. And then you sell, people who are into certain characters from time to time. But I had run out of some of these cards, so I thought, well, I'm going to sort the box and try to get some of these things updated. Many of my pictures on the eBay is they're blurry, they're outdated. They changed their software. So like when you look at the thumbnails on the left, some of my thumbnail will look very blurry. Then when you click it, it looks fine. It's like, well, what? The software changed. They had an update. So photos that looked okay before, and when you're in a listing, will look fine. But so I have photos I need to update as well. So anyway, so this is the general landscape of the card. The cards are a major upgrade in the line. People love 1992 Marvel Masterpiece. They are beautiful. All of the art is done by Joe Jusko in that series. This series tends to have tons of different artists. This is a Joe Phillips piece. I think this is when the card collecting become real for me. Like this is, I already had all the other sets. I already had been collecting. I knew kind of like how you found a hologram in a pack, those kinds of little snippets and details and that kind of thing. But this was the set that got me going. So I'm going to show you a few cards, let you guys ask questions, that kind of thing. So, hey, Whitechapel, well, talk about a brother who knows art and knows how to bring things to life, my friend. What you did for me, I'll never be able to thank you, man. I love my card. I love that kind of stuff. And yeah, man, let's talk. And if you want to come up in here, man, just kind of give me a little thumbs up. I'll just send you I'll pop a little link in there for you so you can join in if you want. Because I'm just trying to experiment with trying to show off cards and that kind of thing. So let's set Gambit aside. This is Psylocke. Now, Psylocke is not a super high popular character. She did appear in one of the movies. This is a Julie Bell art. Now, Julie Bell and Boris Vallejo, of course, do like these real life pieces. This super sexy look it makes this a very popular card for people that want to get it, even if they're not really into Psylocke per se. But obviously, you can see the motion and the action, showing off some skin, that kind of thing. And here's the background, more like issues from her in her early appearance, and that kind of thing. It is a little hard. I couldn't figure out how to get the depth just quite right. Again, I couldn't afford like a massive amount of money or anything on a camera. But you can see right there, it's showing you the reference point for the issue, Uncanny X-Men 213. So you have a little bit of an issue of where they're trying to get their reference points. And when I was collecting, this was a great way. People think, how do you know so much? I'm like, well, because the nerd in me wanted to go figure out, when I found things I liked, let me go find that comic book. Let me read it for myself. So Psylocke, obviously in the X-Men universe, it's a big deal. No. All right, no problem, White Castle. No harm found, no foul. Listen, man, this was totally spontaneous. The day schedule changed. I had some stuff kind of lined up, and then it just kind of changed the last minute, which there's no harm in that either. I'm hoping that I can get stuff worked out. I have stuff later today, and I'll be on someone else's show tonight. But I hadn't tested any of this. So I have a setup. It's funny, if I could show you what it looks like, you would just laugh at me of how I have my setup sort of jerry-rigged up here. So someday I'll have a different type of setup. So, all right. So let me go to another character. You pull her. So here's the difference too. When you have them in sleeves, see how different it looks when they're in a sleeve versus not in a sleeve. So let me pull it out so you guys can see. So penny sleeves have gone up in price as well. If you see gas prices that go up, everything that involves collectors generally goes up in price. But you can get these on eBay. If you'd like me to send you a link to that as well, or I can go over here and pull it up at some point. But you can find penny sleeves online. Let me see. Yeah, here's the one I use. They're just standard. There's nothing special, really. They're acid-free, 100 count. You want to get as close. We refer to them as penny sleeves because this used to be $1, and now they're a couple dollars. You're better off trying to buy a few hundred of them at a time, maybe 500 or so. Get a break. That way it absorbs into your shipping costs, and it's not quite as expensive for you. And they will last. Like I said, you can keep them in that little bag, and they will last. But that way you can take good care of your card. And then you can put them in a hard case, which is it's called a top loader, or a more fancier case. Anyway, so here's Phoenix. Beautiful card. You love the way the silhouette looks in the background. I just always love this card. I thought it was a great one. This was done here on the back, and again, you get sort of the reference that they go for here, like what issue they're talking about. So very nice cards. Very nice card. And again, you can tell the borders change, so you can see here on Psylocke, see how her lettering is blue, whereas Phoenix is purple. They're trying to go with something that works with the composite. Generally speaking, in Gambit, this one's in a sleeve. Put that one aside. You can see that here their text is in green, his is in gold. So these kinds of things, those are not variations or anything like that. That's just how the set is made and how the set is put together. So a little bit of that. But yeah, so White Castle, Whitechapel, do you you still have Marvel cards? You still collect these or anything? Just curious. So I'm trying to sort. I literally have stacks. So again, I knew I had them. I kind of knew where they were. Look, this is the small part of the stack of how many there are. And that is less than a third of the stack. I assume this is a box break that I had back in the day, because there were whole sets that were set aside that I've already posted and sold. So it's at least one whole box, maybe more than a box. Here's the checklist card. Now, I want to point something out on the checklist card, because this is a good example of trying to educate somebody who may be watching this after the fact. So on checklist cards in particular, notice all of the black. Any of the white showing is sort of a step down in the card's condition. And if you're just looking these just for the fun of it, the collector part of it, whatever, then just get cheap ones. Just get, 50 centers, dollar cards. Don't worry about getting nicer ones, things like that. But you can see, I don't think this is really a downgrade in its condition, really. See, there's just a little bit of white edging just right around my thumb right there. I don't really consider that type of edging a problem, but you'll see it kind of bleed over into it. You'll also notice on this one, and I don't know why they did this, because this is a huge condition issue on the checklist cards. See how much foil is here in this purple? This all will rub off. You will see copies that have this all rubbed off as major condition downgrades. So let's see, I got about, oh, okay, cool, man. You got about 5 binder folds. Yeah, that's actually how I stored most of my. So what I would do on my for eBay, which is where I've sold most things. Oh, see, I moves the camera because I have such a jerry-rigged system here. I would have loose cards and sets posted. I would always hold back one set in a binder. So because what's going to happen over time is you're going to miscount, you'll have a damaged card or something like that. And I would always like to have a replacement or a backup. So I had binders upon binders of cards. My wife was freaking out. She's like, holy cow, there is so much. And I'm like, well, this was all of the backup stuff. So I had a backup set of almost everything. So I'm just now getting into the backup sets and breaking them down or posting them and that kind of thing. Because I'm just trying to downsize. I'm just trying to liquidate down. I'm getting a little long in the tooth, guys. I can't wait till I'm 60 to start. So I'm starting now. I missed a little bit of the boom of the market. I don't know if you knew that, Whitechapel, but I had sold a whole bunch of Marvel cards in like early 2020. Like just it went bonkers. Like, most of the time I wasn't really selling too much, but all of a sudden they went crazy. And it was people not having much to do with the pandemic, and they were grading these cards, and people couldn't find mint copies, PSA graded cards. So, but yeah, I bet a lot of the cards I talk about are cards that you have, Whitechapel. So that's pretty cool. Oh, I see you listed here. Masterpieces. Yep, it's worth looking at. Marvel Universe, X-Men. Yeah, there's a box of X-Men behind me. We're going to do a box break on those at some point. And then Flare, which is one of my favorite sets. And you can see a Flare here on my eBay store right there. Yeah, I love my Flare cards. And the metal are really condition sensitive. So I'm not going to tell you what to do, but those you might want to consider removing from their pages and using sleeves, so that the pages won't really rub their finish off, because a lot of them, like this checklist I'm showing you, that foil can rub off. So, hey, Princess Leia Rose, how are you, lady? Hope you're doing well. Yeah, Phoenix collection. Okay, yeah, cool. I just showed a Phoenix card. Where'd it go? I set it aside. Oh, here it is. Yeah. So I had a whole massive stack of these that I needed to go through and kind of update. That's my little eBay store. I don't really promote it massively, but thought I'd make reference to it at time and that kind of thing. But you can see, I'll show you that it's just, let's switch it so it goes to the store. But it's so frustrating. They have changed something. And look, I was looking here. See, like the Storm card I updated. Okay, like Jean. I don't know if you guys can see this picture of Jean. This Jean card, this thumbnail image is very, very blurry. And I'm like, what on earth is going on? So I don't promote the store, by the way, so those of you who came in late. I include shipping in my price. So when you talk about, it's $4 for a bubble envelope, you can do those kinds of things, talk down, but it's like just, it's crazy. And I only deal with I only post cards that are in like super good condition. I don't post anything without letting you know there's a ding in it. That, like this one right here, this Gambit card has a bad corner. That's why it's like $5. But when you click this Jean card, the actual post, it's like, so now it's blurry. Well, it wasn't blurry before. They did something. And I'm like, what did you guys do to your software? Like now it's completely messed up. It looks terrible. So I discovered one or two of these going through my inventory for things to do. So that's why I ended up in this little practice stream, or this little excuse to do a stream, because I was like, I've got to get into these cards and sort some of these out. So I literally just have hundreds of them. So this is another stack. So yeah. So I don't know if you guys have certain characters you want to see or not. But yeah, here's another Phoenix card right here. Beautiful, beautiful cards. One of my favorite cards, actually. I like that. I like the cards that have a lot of contrasting color, and then it basically presents a lot of motion. So So this is a card that did okay. I showed it off, obviously, during the show. You kind of play the algorithm game a little bit when you're doing the YouTubes, right? So it's all right. Joe Jesco did the art on that. It was okay. Not exactly the She-Hulk we got in the show, but it's one we kind of loved back in the day. So there's Savage She-Hulk on the back, and Black Widow. And Black Widow cards, I have to be honest, they don't really do her justice. I don't know that it takes a little while. The early Black Widow cards, both the Marvel universes and a couple of the others. So our audio is staticky. Is my audio that bad? I'm sorry, guys. Let me see. Let me play around with that for a second. Let me figure out what's going on there, because I want to make sure I'm not. Am I buffering, or do I have an issue? No, it's showing that I'm green and I'm popping okay. Okay. There's no indication from StreamYard that I have a problem, but I know the week before vacation I left, I did a couple videos, and it turns out those were rough. Is Phoenix in a case for a card? Well, I don't have any of these are in cases. I have what I call penny sleeves, because back in the day that's what they were. They were like 100 of them for $1. They cost a few dollars now. So this is what I keep the loose cards in, like this. Only if it's something that is quite a bit more money or has a sensitive issue about it, I'll put it in a top loader to store it. When I ship, I'll take the card, put it in a penny sleeve, put it in a top loader, and seal it with some blue tape. So I do apologize for the audio. I don't know what's going on. Yes, I changed the setup, but I wouldn't have thought that the mic would have been messed up. Let me change the mic and then change it back and see if that makes a difference, because sometimes that's what. All right, so this should be the laptop microphone. And then back to the Yeti microphone. Okay. You guys will have to let me know. Sorry, I really don't know. I'm so frustrated with some of the tech stuff, because it's like you have a generic problem, but you don't necessarily know how to get solution. So, had all my folders carefully stored in a box, now sitting on a shelf. Haven't looked at them in a long time. Okay, cool. No, I understand. I'm with you, man. They were we moved, and when we unpacked them, it made a difference. Thank you, Leia. I appreciate that. Sometimes StreamYard just has a mind of its own. It really, really does. I know you hear this from a lot of creators, and if you use it, just know that it's not the StreamYard that we all started out on. It got bought, and since then they're not making kind of the upgrades and investment in it. They're doing like all these weird feature things. Like that's what we care about. And it's like we would really kind of want it to function right, to be honest. Anyway, go back to what you say about Whitechapel. Was when we moved, I had unpacked the box and I put them on the shelf in the closet. So I did the same thing before I decided in early pandemic that I would spend some of my time just trying to downsize some of this stuff, because the move was a wake up call that I had just way too much stuff. It was really, you can't even enjoy it if you have that much. Oh, sorry. Again, bad setup ideas here, where my drink was on the other side of the camera. So I want to do more cards and comic stuff, but I had to figure out some sort of setup or layout. I actually like the fact that if I stack them like that with the shared screen over here, then you can see them a lot better. I don't know if you guys agree with that or not, but I think we can even probably, we can kind of read the back now, which is, well, nah, not really. No, I still have to lift it up a little bit and try to find it at an angle. But you can see it does try to reference, the comic book reference of the image that's on the back, and you have the artist and the information there on the bottom. Oh, by the way, I didn't mention it. When you have confusion about what year things are, this is your years right here. There's these little logos they put on the cards, so you'll find those on the Marvel cards. So it's easy to sort out which ones go with what. So there's Typhoid Mary, who I think is going to be, I mean, she's got to be brought in at some point, by the way. This is War Machine. That's a Jesco one. Joe Jesco did the entire series before this, so the 92 are all Just Go Arts, and those are the ones that are worth more because those are considered their first cards, the very first cards. And when I shared this screen, make it bigger again. So that's the difference between, well, let's go even bigger than that. So the difference between, as you can see, Jean Grey and Cyclops are 1993 cards. You can see the foil across the top. And then the two in between, the Gambit card and the Professor X card on the left, those are 1992. So you can see there's no foil across the top. Those are some of the differences that you can see there. So, all right. So general idea stuff, general stuff, just trying to share some general information. Thought I would go through that. So, oh, they did have Typhoid Mary and Iron Fist? Oh, okay. I didn't know they had Typhoid Mary. I didn't know she was even part of sort of the Iron Fist universe. I know she's a Daredevil villain introduced by Ann Nocenti back in the day after the Frank Miller run. That's part of what made Ann Nocenti's run was so great. She introduced Typhoid Mary, and it kind of was a nice addition to the universe of another cool character that could fool Daredevil into being something that was different. So, Hawkeye card, Ray Lego, I think is how you say his name. He does quite a few cards. Tying into the whole West Coast Avengers theme at the time was part of that. Deathlock. This is one of the weirdest ones. Their interpretation in this series of Nightcrawler, I thought, was just very strange. He looks more like a zombified dead man type of interpretation. It was just strange. Let's see. All the specialty cards is a collection in themselves. Oh, okay. Yeah, cool. No, I agree. So, I can show a couple of the insert cards in this set. These didn't go well because the series didn't go well. That it was their 2099. They're in sleeve. I'm not taking them out. So they did X-Men. Well, they did a 2099 of everything. So there's a Spider-Man, a Doom, Hulk, whatever. This is the X-Men. So they did the X-Men ones, and they're in set. So these are insert cards. The foil is different on them. You take out the sleeve. It's a little easier to see. The foil is different. You have the logo at the top, but then on the back, the design and everything is the same, except they're S's. So there's 9 of them, and that's it. They're just scat. They're not Spectra. I think they're called Spectra inserts, whatever they are. Well, like I said, this is a fun set because it doesn't break the bank. You can end up with relatively, I want to say inexpensive, but you don't have to spend a fortune to get cards that you want or need or to make a set or something like that. It's a manageable thing. To buy them new, though, in packs can be pricey because people are trying to get them directly out of packs and, maybe have those cards graded. I'm looking for the more expensive card in the set is the Spider-Man 2099 card. And I know that I saw a couple. I just don't know where I put them. They're in this giant. There's one. Okay, perfect. So here he is. This is the most expensive card in the set. Is probably Spider-Man 2099. It's his first card. He did not have a card in all of the other Marvel sets. So whether you're doing Marvel Universe or you're doing Masterpieces, it doesn't matter. His first card is here. So there's this card, and then there's like a different brand type art card. But this is the one that people like. They like this one a lot. It's got a lot of traction. And so this one will go in a sleeve. I don't know that I put them in top loaders, but he would be the one that I would consider putting in a top loader. And these sell, pretty solidly. So, oh, Princess Leia Rose, you're so sweet. Thank you so much. Feel free. No, make an offer. Don't, do whatever you think is comfortable, whatever. You will get a nice secured shipped card. I promise you. And I'll mail it out as quick as I can. Actually, I got to do a post office run tomorrow, in fact, to try to get caught up on stuff that people have asked for. And there are several. I don't know how many Gene cards are listed there. That's the one you want, but there are more in this stack. That's why we wouldn't be doing this. So it is it's cool. I don't think there's a full. I don't know. I wonder if I could make a full set out of the group that's here. Well, I put these insert cards back in here. I got to separate those back out. I'm going to get them mixed in. It's going to create confusion for me. So let me set those aside, and let me put this checklist in a sleeve, and let me put Spidey in a sleeve. So tons of beautiful cards, and you can go to different sites that have the full list. There's another Jean card for you. See, they're pretty. They're nice. My picture doesn't do it justice. I've got to do another picture. So I'm going to set her aside so I can get a good picture and update the listing appropriately to how many I have. And because a lot of the listings are one card, and it's like you're going to get this exact card, because I was trying to showcase the conditions, making sure everybody understood exactly what they were getting, because people were trying to do returns saying they got a card that was this or that, and I'm like, no. I don't have dented and dinged cards on eBay unless they have disclaimers that they are, right? That's just not what I do. It's almost every character. It's characters you've never heard of. A lot of people don't know about Lilith. She's kind of like a Ghost Rider villainess. This was one of the strange Falcon cards. I don't really know what they were going for with the face on that. That's just weird. Hercules, Nova, Rhino. Just keeps going. Let's see. You see, this is a problem too. When you open packs or you buy whatever, you end up getting. This is what the original comic book Drax looks like. Talk about a character that is not the same, right, guys? Look at that. Doesn't that look just like Dave Bautista? Nothing like Dave Bautista. That's one of the Guardians are one of the most transformed, and this is another reason why I think many of us that were diehard comic book fans at the time were very skeptical of. They're adapting Guardians of the Galaxy. How are they going to pull that off? And they kind of cheated a little bit and did a little of this to make it work. This is another Phillips card that is in a sleeve, so it isn't quite. But you can see Archangel and how good the realistic art was when they did that back then. So, is this good enough, guys? Do you think the quality of the visuals and the stream is good enough to do this type of show and tell? I think this is doable. I can manage this. I don't know how to circumvent having the shared screen over there, because it does make this. Like I said, when I take this away, let's see, I go to this one. I take this away. See, now I'm in it. This is my edge of my barrier here where my little mouse thing is. So it just kind of messes up the look. And, it's not, I don't know. I like the fact that it was zoomed in a little bit. I guess if I have another person, I can see if I can, tweak it and adjust it and that kind of thing. But currently I don't even have a way to switch back to my other camera. So everything looks great. Okay. All right. I'll take it. I'll take great. That's cool. I'll take it. So that'll be my technique then, to go through and show different cards, let people ask questions. If you're watching this after the fact, feel free to ask a question. I've done shorts on some of these. I actually may take a stack of these in the other room and just sit and do shorts for lunch. Like, that'll be my lunchtime, is sitting and doing Marvel Masterpiece shorts that I can just drop over the course of the next 2 or 3 weeks. Just because they're kind of fun. They're easy. They get a little bit of views. Maybe you get a subscriber or two, but it can create some conversation about Marvel cards and collecting and comic books and whatever, which is what I enjoy the most. Trying to think if there's any other characters that I think that are really worth note. Again, it's all the X-Men stuff. Like, Omega Red's become pretty popular. There was a lot of rumors that he was going to show up in like Black Widow or something. I still wouldn't rule him out as showing up in something. Bishop, I think Bishop has got to be a no-brainer to be in the new X-Men. I don't understand. I don't understand what's taking so long. Talk about they want representation. It's one of the coolest kick-butt X-Men characters out there. He hasn't been included. This is Mystique. Just another beautiful, sexy interpretation of her. Let's see. Yeah, Magneto. I'd sold out of Magnetos for a while. Those went well. I found these. Domino was a popular character. Like I said, all the X-Men stuff pretty much is like that. I'm not noticing a spike. Well, here's Daredevil, of course. That one's odd because of the way they did the perspective where he's kicking at you. So you're kind of actually looking up his groin a little bit, which I don't think is the best idea for a card design. But hey, that's me. Yeah, I don't see a Spidey card. That would be one of the ones. Again, certain characters will always be in demand. Marvel's so naive to think that they're going to reshape the universe and reshape what people want, because it's been tried and proven literally over decades. Like, I remember, to be honest, if we were around the clock to like the 2000s, I would have a hard time even getting a quarter and 50 cents for most cards. Like, it just wasn't a thing. Like, people just weren't into it. They were like, this comic book people, Iron Man, Cap, and Thor weren't household names like they are now. They were kind of like, you kind of knew just by their name who they were, but it's not like they had a big market share or anything like that. It's mostly Spider-Man and X-Men, stuff like that. Oh, Bobby, I would like you like to see Omega Red Deadpool Wolverine movie. Yeah, I think so. It would be a fun, to me, almost like it's easy, right? Omega Red ties into Deadpool and Wolverine's past of basically being these experimented on weapon created beings, and you easily could tie it all into the universe and do that. But we've been saying that all along. So, all right. So, well, that is kind of what I wanted to do and try to show this off. I'm glad for the feedback that you guys gave me something to go on. I actually thought about trying to switch the sides, but that didn't go particularly well. So, all right, let me minimize this. Let me go back to the eBay. Kind of want to go to the top, give you guys some pointers. When you go to the very, very top and you're going to type in your search of what you're looking for, and again, you can find cheaper things out there. You can find, it's a constant thing to try to find what you're looking for. Because when you type in 1993 Marvel masterpieces, this is the set. You're going to get people who post like this. I don't know, sure, I can check and see. It's hard sometimes to know what you can see. Let me see if I can just go to the bigger screen. There's no copyright issues with sharing an eBay screen. Just waiting for StreamYard to catch up to me clicking the button, which is so frustrating. Close that window. So this is a listing where you see people, it says 1990 Marvel Masterpiece Skybox singles, pick your card, complete your set, $7.95. When you click those type of listings, in there you'll find, you know, cheap cards all the way up to this little pull down right here. You'll see that there's not a ton of them available from the looks of things. You have to find your card, and when you do, it'll show you what they're selling it for. So they're charging $1 for shipping. So they're basically just, that's cheaper than what I would sell my card for. That card actually looks really, really good. So hey, good on them. They can get them moved for $3 or $4. Sure, cool, go for it. Then this is a graded card. Here, look. I don't know if Leia, you still there? Here's a graded Jean Grey. So this is actually what graded cards look like. Let me see if it'll. Yeah, there it goes. So right here at the top, you'll see. Let me make sure it's sharing properly. Okay. This is Jean Grey. I hate the fact that on their graded cards they abbreviate the word masterpieces. I hate that so much. I really wish they could just figure out a way to design them differently or something. But they do. They abbreviate Marvel masterpieces. So it has card number, mint, and 9. So a 9 is not the highest grade, believe it or not. That's a 9. It's a beautiful card. It's a mint card. And I bet you what keeps it from being a perfect 10, if you look on the right of her knee pointing, you'll see this little black spot. And there's a little white showing right there. I bet that is what kept it. When you look at the back, they have different angles, that kind of thing. So, but you can see the price upgrade on a graded card. So $25 plus shipping of almost $7. So you're talking like $30-something for a graded version of the card that you can probably get a perfect copy or pretty close to perfect copy of like $5. So here they go. Here's the different cards that you can find. Here's a gem at 10. So we'll take a look at that one. This isn't actually an auction. And this is what kind of drove the price up. People were looking for them so they could get them graded and end up with a gem mint. So this is what a gem mint looks like. The label's very similar, but you can see gem mint 10. So people say PSA 10. That's what they're talking about. This is considered a perfect version. Okay, and this is an auction house. Probstein is like an auction house. Like it's a place that's what they do. They do auctions for other sellers. So Probstein is just holding the card to sell. So it would be like if I sent this to them to sell for me. I don't have to deal with all the eBay shenanigans or whatever. So obviously it's got several more days to go. I'll be shocked that if anything, that's PSA 10 is going to sell for less than 25, 30 bucks. There's a massive drop between 10 and 9 in price because 10s are that much harder to find and get. All right, let me go back to the main thing and see what any comments. So, okay, Whitechapel says, biggest thing, I got a few sets I need to complete. When I have the money, I think I'll start doing that. Okay, cool. Send me a list, Whitechapel. Maybe I have them. I could just hook you up, man. Figure it out. Yeah, let me know. If I don't have them, I can probably figure out how to get them for you, or at least try to keep them on my radar if I'm going around finding things. Try to find them for you at a reasonable price and not break your bank or anything like that, man. Because that's not what I wanted. And that stuff got crazy. Now look at, so this is a nice thing that eBay did add. If you can get No, I don't know. Can you guys hear me? Let me see. No, I don't know. Can you guys? I guess it is working. Yeah. So, God works in this way, in my opinion. And come to find out, the power bank on my computer had gone out while I was in the middle of a conversation a week or so ago. And what appears to be the problem now, where it plugs in, the outlet may be able to pull it. So whenever it gets, basically the battery on the computer, and then I didn't know, there's no alert, by the way, which I'm now changing, and trying to alert me whenever there's an issue, which I did not have. And so it went black, but the stream doesn't end if you don't end it. You have to end the stream or have someone end it for you. So that's kind of why things just went black, and I will try to trim that out after the fact. That was so strange. Oh, I think, though, the point of the test was done. I'm trying to check my settings and let me at least have some better alerts. Because it says I had like a third of my battery power should have stayed on. Everything should have not done that. So I don't know if there was a power surge because the lights didn't go out. Oh, that was so frustrating. Boy, am I having that kind of time. So I'm going to cut it there. I will probably try to see if I can trim some of the, you know what? I'm not trimming that out. Life is just life. This is what it's like to be a YouTuber. You got to roll with the punches. You got to know crazy things are going to happen, and you can't let yourself get beat up about it. And if people are going to hate, they're going to hate. So there it is. But the system works better. I kind of have an idea of where to put this second. Too much else. So it's really not that hard to plug and play and do this, which is kind of what the goal was, is to figure out how to make it work. So anywho, there we go. For those of you that stopped in, thank you so much. For those of you who are watching after the fact, also, thank you so much. And with that, let me let's end on a high note. You know, I love to do it. Have a little Bob Ross chill, little dance, little smile on your face to get you through the rest of your day.
Bob Ross, all I do is chill. My life is a thrill, for real, Bob Ross. I be too calm for the drama. You don't wanna cause a problem, I'll solve it, Bob Ross.